Folks, if I could provide you with a little life advice, it would be find you someone that looks at you the way that Sam Pittman was looking at 6'5", 325-pound transfer left tackle Fernando Carmona on his visit to Fayetteville this offseason as he was going through the transfer portal process. That's right. Sam Pittman was enamored with the left tackle, was excited to have him in Arkansas with an opportunity to land him, and land him they did as he signs with the Razorbacks and will be penciled in to be the starting left tackle for Arkansas as they head into the 2024 season. Hello, everyone. I'm Blayne Gilmer. Welcome in to the SEC Unfiltered program here, this channel, this network that is covering SEC sports and SEC football in a way that no one else is. The best SEC entity on the internet. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Now let's get into it right here with Fernando Carmona. Transfers from San Jose State out to Arkansas. This is a young man who is very, very well thought of in terms of his play on the field, his engagement off the field. He's a guy, one of only two guys that actually had an NIL deal in place out at San Jose State. And he had a burrito named after him at a burrito shop out there in California. He's a guy that is very engaging. He's going to do well in the NIL space because, one, he is not afraid to talk to people. He's got an infectious personality, someone that is easy to put on camera, things of that nature. But he can flat out play on the field. And when you are a good Arkansas offensive lineman, we've seen it in the past, those NIL opportunities come, and those opportunities to get your name out there are well known. And Sam Pittman, listen, there are no bones about it. Sam Pittman knows exactly the position that he is in going into the 2024 season. It surprised some people that Pittman was not let go after the 2023 season. 4-8 is just not going to cut it, and you have to have better results offensively. Now, bringing in Bobby Petrino after the Dan Enos era, that goes a long way towards fixing things. But in order to truly fix things, the Jimmies and the Joes had to change up front for Arkansas, and that is definitely going to happen with the addition of Fernando Carmona. First of all, in the run game, he has a nasty streak about him, okay? He's able to get his pad level down even at 6'5", and he's able to finish blocks, okay? He's a guy who he doesn't mind, getting out and pulling in the counter game. He is plenty strong enough to handle things in the zone and the duo game, can get out in space if you need him to in the screen game there from that left tackle position. But maybe the biggest thing is that he's a guy that you don't have to worry about, being left on an island over there at left tackle. You can do, and let's hope that Arkansas and all these SEC teams don't continue with this pandemic, this epidemic of just slide protection, stuff like that. Go actual, protection, man side, slide side, do all that kind of stuff. And particularly with Fernando Carmona, he is light on his feet for a guy as big as he is, has good balance. Only allowed 2 sacks last year at San Jose State, according to PFF. Now, listen, PFF is not the end-all, beat-all when it comes to grades, okay? Because I don't think that they know the concept of exactly what these players are being taught, the game adjustments, the game plan. They don't know all the intricacies of that. So how you can go in and rate every player's grade, I don't know. So you have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt. But I do know that on their grading system, Fernando Carmona was one of the higher graded tackles in the entire country, had a tremendous pass blocking grade, and only gave up 2 sacks that were attributed to him versus Devin Manuel last year, who's transferred from Arkansas to Florida that did not have a very great passing grade, gave up 4 sacks on the year and had a rough time. You go back and look at that Missouri game at the end of the year, particularly. Devin Manuel just had a hard time staying on his feet. He continued to kind of get top heavy, to lose his balance at different times, things of that nature. And at 6'9", wasn't able to, bend and move the way that he needed to. I think Fernando Carmona is going to be a more solid fit for Arkansas as it comes to not only helping getting that run game going, where they could not run the football last year a lick. Now, I know Rocket Sanders has transferred out, and I know A.J. Green has transferred out, but still talented running backs there. And you add the dynamic of Taylon Green, which I know that there's going to be a lot of talk about Taylon Green this offseason. There's going to be a lot of talk about what Bobby Petrino can do with Taylon Green, the transfer quarterback from Boise State. But none of that matters unless you're able to handle things up front. And you're going to see a revamped Arkansas offensive line. Of course, you got Tykeus Crawford and Josh Braun who come back at the guard positions, but at the 2 tackles and the center, you're going to see most likely you are going to see imports there from the transfer portal. We talked about Carmona there at left tackle. He's going to be matched up with a bookend who is also 6'5", 315 to 325, depending on, what he's been eating for breakfast over the last week, in Keyshawn Blackstock, a guy who transferred in from Michigan State. And then Addison Nichols, who comes over. He should be playing center as he transfers over from Tennessee. Not a ton of experience there. Was caught up behind Cooper Mays as Cooper Mays stays another year at Tennessee, and he elected to make that move over to Arkansas and stay in the SEC. But when it comes down to it, guys, the first 3 years of Sam Pittman's era there at Arkansas, they were able to run the football. They had a reputation for being physical, nasty, finishing blocks, things of that nature. I believe that is what Fernando Carmona brings. I believe he can go into Fayetteville, Arkansas. His potential, will be met by his play on the field. I think what he will actually produce will meet his potential, which is really high with the athleticism and the size that he has. And I think he'll be a high NFL draft pick in the class of 2025 when they go out next spring for the NFL draft. A guy that I'm sure you'll see, if he stays healthy and all that kind of stuff, you'll see at the Senior Bowl and all that kind of stuff a year from now. But Fernando Carmona is not a name that gets talked about enough. I know Taylon Green. I know some of the people on the defensive side. That's what kind of gets the headlines for Arkansas this offseason. But when it comes down to it, that offensive line was atrocious last year. They needed a big boost when it came to going out and finding people in the transfer portal. And when a guy like Fernando Carmona comes along, and listen, you knew Sam Pittman was excited. You see interviews of Carmona saying, hey, it wasn't Eric Mateos who was the one, taking me around, although Mateos was key in how he recruited Carmona. But Sam Pittman was like, no, hop in the car with me. He was personally taking him around Fayetteville saying, hey, look at these houses. Look at these houses. You could live here, all this kind of stuff, showing him around campus, and even pulling the old, kind of the dad jokes or whatever over there saying that, this house is probably locked. But I'm the head coach of Arkansas. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get us in this house, and calling somebody who he probably had it set up ahead of time, a real estate agent, to electronically let him into the house and things like that. So, Sam Pittman was pulling out all the stops to try to get big Fernando Carmona from California to Arkansas, and mission accomplished, as he's already working out with the team, set to be that left tackle. And that is a big deal for Arkansas. I would argue maybe even a bigger deal than the quarterback deal with Taylon Green coming in. And Bobby Petrino is going to be very, very happy to have that kind of an anchor on the left side of his offensive line. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this video as we broke down Fernando Carmona, an underrated yet vital transfer to Arkansas this offseason. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications for more SEC sports content right here on SEC Unfiltered, the best SEC entity on the internet, guys. And thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. And we will catch you guys next time as we talk more Arkansas and more SEC football right here on SEC Unfiltered.